Hello there, you guys. Welcome to another of my live videos, and I'm just going to give you some a bit more additional information about Thomas Meunier, like I did on my recent video I did today. And obviously, there's lots of other things to talk about. But reportedly, Thomas Meunier is set to join Manchester United in a deal worth around £22 million, because reports do say that Manchester United haven't won the race for Thomas Meunier, even though it does say Arsenal have also been interested in the player. It has said Arsenal have been in negotiations with PSG over the potential move for Thomas Meunier. But I think from Thomas Meunier's perspective anyway, his preferred destination of course is Old Trafford, because it did get revealed that he has been a United fan since he was a current child, Thomas Meunier. But I do believe he will be a great signing for Manchester United. I think this could be completed sometime next week, but reportedly I think it's going to be a deal worth around £22 million, and obviously that is a reasonable figure, and obviously he's a much cheaper alternative than Wan-Bissaka is Thomas Meunier, because I think now we have prioritised Thomas Meunier over Wan-Bissaka, because initially we do know that Wan-Bissaka has been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, but reportedly Crystal Palace want around £60 million for him. I don't think Man United are keen on paying him up to £60 million for him, but looking at it, Thomas Meunier is a much cheaper alternative, plus a lot more experience than Wan-Bissaka. I know obviously Wan-Bissaka's got experience of playing in the Premier League and all that, and he obviously is in the Premier League now. Obviously Thomas Meunier has never played in the Premier League, but I do believe Thomas Meunier has got all the attributes and all the capabilities to succeed in the Premier League and exceed expectation levels. Like I said, he's 27 years of age. He's only got a year left on his deal, with Paris Saint-Germain, so it's definitely looking imminent. He's going to be leaving PSG. But I did say that right back area is one of the areas where Manchester United, do need to strengthen up, because it's one of the areas we are lacking. Like I said, I think Thomas Meunier is going to be a great replacement for Antonio Valencia. I think he's going to be a good upgrade to Ashley Young, and I do believe he's going to be a good cover up for Diego Dalot, because like I said with Diego Dalot, he did prove himself towards the back end of last season, of course, because he was playing at right back at times. He was playing sometimes he was playing as a right when he was Diego Dalot. But like I said, he's still the upcoming future as Diego Dalot. So yeah, I do believe Thomas Meunier will be fantastic for Manchester United. But he did say Arsenal have been in talks with PSG over the potential move, because maybe Unai Emery is keen on reuniting with the player, because with the player, because obviously when Unai Emery was at PSG, I think actually Thomas Meunier was more of a starter, but since Unai Emery has departed PSG, I think Thomas Meunier has found himself surplus to requirements. So it does say Manchester United and Arsenal have been battling it out for him. I think the quoted fee was around £25 million that PSG wanted, but reportedly I think we're set to get him in a deal worth around £22 million. So reports are saying that, we have won the race for Thomas Meunier. Thomas Meunier is predominantly a right back. He can also play in other positions as well, so he is very, very versatile, which is very, very beneficial. He can also score goals. He can provide. So I think Thomas Meunier, will be a great sign there for Manchester United, and he's still got quite a bit of development in him. I think he's made about 101 appearances for PSG in his 3 years. He has currently been there. I think PSG paid around, was it about £5 million in from Club Brugge back in 2016. But yeah, like I said, I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. But obviously, Arsenal have obviously inquired about getting a few defenders, of course, because obviously, Arsenal have got defensive issues, just like Manchester United have, of course, and they have got quite a few aging up players in their backline of Arsenal. So obviously, they've inquired about Thomas Meunier's services, but it's looking like he's going to be making the move to Manchester United. But I think it's going to be difficult for us to get our number one, targets this summer, because obviously we're not in Champions League football for next season. Obviously it's going to be difficult for Arsenal to get their number one targets, because obviously they can't offer a Champions League football for next season. Obviously Arsenal were only restricted to loan signings back in January. Obviously, we do know that we didn't get any money in January. Obviously, we didn't get our number one targets last summer, because obviously, reflecting back last summer, the board were back in the signings that Jose Mourinho, wanted to recommend to come in. So yeah, we have got a good bargain there, for a player of Thomas Meunier's calibre, of course. And he's actually a United fan. I didn't know, so I've just read up the media. I think his secret has been revealed. He has been a United fan, since he was a current child. But yeah, I think he'll be fantastic for Manchester United, and a much cheaper alternative than Wan-Bissaka. Looking at it, because and Wan-Bissaka is going to cost you around £60 million, and this is what Crystal Palace, do currently want for him. So that's good news indeed. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anywhere is looking to bring at least 5 new additions to the club. Obviously, he's getting a spending spree of around £250 million. It's from between £200 and £250 million, but I do believe that's going to be enough to get us around 5 players. Of course, maybe even more than 5 players, depending on how we are with our recruitment this summer. Because we do know there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure. That's obviously on Manchester United's agenda, of course. So some people have suggested out that we should be sensible with our recruitment. But like I said, £250 million, should be enough to get us around at least 5 players. Like I said, it's going to be a lot more than £250 million if we cash in for Pogba, if we cash in for Lukaku, Lukaku and De Gea. It's going to take our spending speed to around £500 million this summer. But like I said, there's a possibility now, that Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku, could be remaining at the football club, based on the huge transfer fees that we have put on them. Paul Pogba's proposed move to Real Madrid could have hit a stumbling block, based on the huge transfer fee. Lukaku's proposed move to Inter Milan could have hit a stumbling block, based on the huge transfer fee. Even though Manchester United, do want to actually get rid of Romelu Lukaku. But, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on trying to keep his imperative players at the club. And obviously, one of his imperative players, of course, is Paul Pogba. And I mean, also De Gea is one. But Paul Pogba, of course, I think Solskjaer is doing everything to try and convince Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. Also, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, he's working on trying to get the right players to Manchester United, who he thinks are going to be good enough, to represent Manchester United. But obviously, as you all know, he has worked out his transfer strategy. He wants to recommend a number of young players to come in. But Solskjaer still believes we can attract players to the highest level, as he was saying towards the back end of the season, even though we're not in Champions League football for next season. But he's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Obviously, as he was saying towards the back end of the season, that he had been contacted by a number of agents, saying that, their players do want to come to Manchester United, because I know we're a toxic club at the moment, and I know we have been playing catch-up for the last 5 or 6 years, but looking at it, we are the most successful, team in England, historically. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world still, of course, and, we have got a fantastic fan base, and I know we're a toxic club at the moment. I do know a lot of money has been invested into the club over the years, since Alex Ferguson retired, but looking at it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding. There is cultural problems at the club. I do agree that we need a structural change at the club, and that's obviously getting a director of footballing. That's very essential indeed. We've got to get a director of footballing before the start of next season. There has been quite a few candidates' names mentioned, who could, take that director's role at Old Trafford. But it would be ideal to recommend someone who knows the culture of the club, and someone, of course, has got the experience. So we've definitely, got to get a director of footballing. That is very, very essential indeed. As you all currently know, but I do believe it anywhere in the next couple of seasons. Our aspirations is going to be, going for that top 4. Like I said, I do believe our expectation levels are going to be next season is to, get into that top 4, maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League. Our expectations for next season are not going to be, to win the Premier League, because I think we're at least a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge. I'd say probably a lot of years off, winning the league, of course. Some people have said if we can have a competitive summer window and we do get the right players to the club, we can win the league next season. I don't see it happening, to be quite honest with you. And stranger things have happened, but in for my own preference, I don't see it, currently happening. So, but like I said, good news coming out about Thomas Meunier. I think we're set to get him in a deal worth around £22 million. So that is very, very cheap indeed for a player of Meunier's calibre. Maybe he's available for a reasonable figure, because obviously, he's got a year left on his deal, a year left in his contract with PSG, of course. And so that's very, very good news. Also, it looks like, the likes of Matthias de Ligt, Bruno Fernandes and Daniel James, of course, are going to follow Thomas Meunier as well to Manchester United, which is very, very good. So obviously, that's 4 players there. Matthias de Ligt is looking very imminent. He's going to be making the move to Manchester United. He's still not fully, certain yet, because obviously, Matthias de Ligt is set to notify Manchester United within the next couple of days, about his decision on a transfer and all that. But he did blatantly, make it clear that we are willing to outbid any other club, to get Matthias de Ligt's services. Of course, it did say we're willing to offer Matthias de Ligt a contract worth up to £350,000 a week. Obviously, this equates to almost 17 million a year. And obviously, you know, if this was to process, you know, this would make Matty Stillett, you know, one of the highest paid players at the club. Obviously, the highest paid teenager in world football. And I think from Matty Stillett's perspective, you know, the contract we have offered him, you know, it's basically, you know, too good for him to currently turn down. I think he did tell his agent Raiola he's willing to accept Manchester United's contract offer. But like I said, he'll perfectly fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. You know, only 19 years of age. Obviously, we do know he's been subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation because it's looking very likely he's going to be leaving Ajax, and he's been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window. Liverpool have inquired about his services. I think it's, by the way, giving an update on the Champions League final, I think it's 1-0 to Liverpool at the moment against Tottenham. I think Salah scored from the penalty spot, but I actually am out watching that game, as I thought I would have been. I've got, you know, quite a few things to currently do. But yeah, you know, Liverpool have inquired about his services, of course. Obviously, you know, Manchester City have inquired about his services because they're looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. But we do know it's been looking very imminent. He's going to be it was looking very imminent. You know, he was set to make the move to Barcelona because we do know, at least in the last couple of months, that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy. You know, it only came out from Sky Sports, was it the other week, saying that he's set to join Barcelona. And I think from Matty Stillett's perspective, you know, he made a current admission, you know, saying his preferred destination, of course, is Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona have already agreed a fee, you know, for his current teammate, Frankie de Jong. I think they agreed a fee of around £65 million, of course. So potentially now, I think, you know, we have emerged as the front runners, you know, to currently get a deal over the line for the player. You know, Matty Stillett also came out and admitted that he has several options on the table because he's aware of the speculation. Is Matty Stillett, so we're going to know where his future lies in the next day or two, as he has currently confirmed. But like I said, only 19 years of age, you know, very, very young, still got a hell of a lot of development in him. I think in terms of the transfer fees, like I said, it's going to cost you from between 65 or 78 million pounds, but obviously, you know, we are willing to meet that valuation. It did initially say that we'd put a bid in for, you know, Matty Stillett of around 78 million pounds, of course. He has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax, of course, but I do believe if he comes to the Premier League, it definitely, you know, will take his career to the next level. And I think he'd blend in very, very well alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. But I did say we need two central defenders, but definitely, you know, Matty Stillett, you know, would be the right solution. But obviously, it did say, you know, talks, you know, between Matty Stillett and Barcelona had currently stalled, you know, based on the terms, because obviously we are willing to offer better terms than Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona are reluctant to increase their offer, so they're not willing to make what Delitt's demanding, what his agent Raiola is demanding. So yeah, and he also said that Matty Stillett, you know, come up with two transfer demands, you know, a couple of days ago, and that could play a part in, you know, Matty Stillett coming to Old Trafford. And two of the transfer demands, why he wants obviously, you know, more money. Barcelona not willing to offer him more money, and so I think they have initially pulled out of the race now. And obviously, you know, he wants first team football guaranteed, and these are two demands definitely Manchester United can meet. You know, we can assure him first team football. You know, we can also, you know, give him more money, what he's currently demanding, and we're willing to meet the terms and all that. And Barcelona anyway couldn't, you know, guarantee him first team football anywhere. They could offer him Champions League football, obviously, but Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. But I don't think Matty Stillett is too bothered about this, and I think he's considering making the move to Old Trafford. But he's only 19. I think he made his senior debut at just the age of 16, or was it the age of 17? And he has gone on to make 117 appearances for Ajax. So I think now we have identified, you know, Matty Stillett as our number one target. And like I said with Bruno Fernandes, you know, there has been good news about him, you know, going on. I really, really like Bruno Fernandes a lot. He did say we want to finalise a deal for Bruno Fernandes before the end of next week. I think it's going to be a deal worth up to around £70 million. Well, anything between 62 to £70 million. You know, we're going to get him for, because he did say we are preparing to put a bid in for him of around 62 or £70 million, of course. So basically, you know, we're willing to offer more than Manchester City, you know, we are willing to offer more than Manchester City, you know, for Bruno Fernandes' signature. City, I think, are only willing to offer like £45 million or £47 million or whatever it is. But they did say City were willing to offer, you know, a couple of their players as part of the deal. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is primarily an attacking midfielder, and like I did say to you, that midfield area is one of the areas, of course, where Manchester United are lacking. Like I said, if Pogba believes, you know, we're going to need 3 new additions in that midfield. But Bruno Fernandes, you know, would be the adequate replacement for Paul Paul Pogba, obviously, if Paul Pogba does leave. But Bruno Fernandes is 24 years of age, still got a hell of a lot of development in him, only very, very young, of course. And I do believe he comes to the Premier League, he will exceed expectation levels, and he will succeed in the Premier League, will Bruno Fernandes. I think it did come out earlier on this week, or was it last week, saying that City were emerged as the front runners, to currently get the player's signature. But now it's saying that Manchester United are the favourites, according to Bola, the Portuguese press. Bruno Fernandes, came out with an admission. He did give us an update on his future. Bruno Fernandes did say, he's unsure about his future. He's had a good couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. He doesn't know if he's going to be serving a third year with Sporting Lisbon. So I think he's basically, refused to rule out a move to the Premier League. But anyway, at some point in his career, he's going to want to take his footballing career anywhere to the next level, of course, because a player of his calibre, would want to currently do that. Got goals in him, got assists in him, like I said. So I think it'd be the right solution for Manchester United, of course. His initial release clause is around, 85 or 86 million pounds. But obviously, Man United and Manchester City are not willing to meet his release clause. We have bluntly, made that clear. He is under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. Obviously, had a lot of experience of playing in Italy when he was younger. The likes of San Pandora and underneath. So I do really like Bruno Fernandes a lot. So we want to get a deal finalised before the end of next week. So he's moved to Manchester United now. He's looking very, very imminent indeed. So yeah, very, very good. Obviously, comparing Man United and Man City at the moment, obviously, City are strides ahead of us. Obviously, City are the dominant force in English football at the moment. And obviously, the more attractive option for Bruno Fernandes, would be Manchester City, of course. But I think, Man United have got a great, great chance now of currently getting, because it is saying now we are the current favourites. So that's really, really good news. Obviously, as you all know, about Daniel James as well from Swansea. It's obviously likely he's coming in. I think his transfer is set to be announced this week. Is Daniel James, as it did actually say earlier on this week, it was set to be announced later on this current week. Daniel James, don't get me wrong, I have got some strong reservations about Daniel James. As you all know, when it comes to him being in the air, I've got concerns about him because he isn't good in the air. He isn't really good at tracking back. But in terms of attacking intent, he's pretty impressive. He's quick on the ball. He can score goals, he can cut in that flank really, really well, and he has demonstrated this throughout the course of this season with Swansea. But we do know Manchester United have agreed an initial fee of around £15 million for Daniel James. Obviously, add-ons included, so it initially rises the deal up to £20 million, and that is a reasonable figure, of course. But the question is, has he got the abilities, has he got the minerals to make it to the highest level, Daniel James? Because obviously he hasn't played to the highest level yet, because obviously he's a championship player, but only very, very young. 21 years of age. Welsh international, only got a year left on his deal with Swansea. Obviously, if he wasn't for his dad, passing away, I think that if it wasn't for his dad, currently passing away, I think his move to Manchester United now, would have been fully finalised. But obviously, there's been a bit of a delay on the move, based on his father passing away. Manchester United are willing to give him the time and space, of course, and all that. And obviously, with his dad dying, he had to withdraw from the Wales camp the other week, of course. So yeah, and obviously Daniel James is primarily a winner. He is supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side. Is Daniel James, and that's obviously where Manchester United will put him. You can put him on the right, but he's supposed to be more effective from the left, because that's where you see the best of Daniel James. Brighton came in right at the final hurdle for him. Leeds nearly got him in January. Everton also, inquired about his services, but his preferred destination, of course, is Manchester United. And Daniel James has made this clear. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was asked about Daniel James towards the back end of last season. About the speculation, linking Daniel James with a move to Old Trafford, and he refused to comment on it, because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware, that there's so many individuals, linked with Manchester United. But it should be set to be announced sometime this week, or maybe earlier next week, of course, about Daniel James. He's a surprise solution, don't get me wrong, he is a low expectation, so hopefully he can exceed expectation levels at Manchester United. Now, as I've been also, giving you an update as well about who is it now? Nicolas Pepe from Lille. Obviously, it came out from Duncan Castles. Well, I think it's come out from Duncan Castles at least in the last couple of days. Saying that Manchester United and Liverpool, of course, are interested in Nicolas Pepe. Now, obviously, looking at Nicolas Pepe is the obvious candidate for the right win for Manchester United, because obviously, Nicolas Pepe is primarily a winner. He's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, he has got immense talent, of course. And he did come out a couple of weeks ago, Lille, the Lille chairman confirmed that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille this summer. But Duncan Castles has said Man United and Liverpool have both been in negotiations with Lille to currently get the pursuit of the player. And I think he's attracted interest, from quite a few teams as Nicolas Pepe. But if Nicolas Pepe was to come to the Premier League, it would definitely it would be the next step for him. It'd take his career to the next level, and I think he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, without a shadow of a doubt. I'd love him at Manchester United. I think the quoted fee is around £70 million that Lille currently want for him. I think it did say a couple of weeks ago we were eyeing around a £45 million move for Nicolas Pepe, but I don't think this figure, would be enough, for Lille to currently sanction the player off. So obviously Man United and Liverpool have obviously got to fork out £70 million if they do want to get a deal over the line for the player. But yeah, primarily a winner. So far has spent the entirety of his career in France. Obviously he's been at Lille a couple of seasons. I think Lille got him from Angus, back in 2017, but he is under contract with Lille until 2022. So there has been a lot of talk, about Nicolas Pepe going on. He's just recently, turned 24 years of age. So again, very, very young indeed. So he's obviously been spoken about. Obviously, as well as I've been giving you an update about Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld. Obviously, he did say that we're willing to make a decision on Toby Alderweireld next week. Whether we were going to go in for him or not. Obviously, he's been on Manchester United's agenda since last summer, and obviously since that point, the rumours have continued to persist. I don't think he's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans. Is Toby Alderweireld, and I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is intending on currently signing him. I don't think he's intending on signing him. Is Toby Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not intending on signing Toby Alderweireld. Toby Alderweireld is well Premier League proven. Don't get me wrong. Looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a very cheap alternative, and he obviously Alderweireld is going to substantially cost you a lot less than the likes of Harry Maguire, Koulibaly, Real Madrid, Rafael Varane, and all that. So looking at it from a financial point of view, he's a much cheap alternative, of course, because his initial release cost is around £25 million. Obviously Tottenham activated this 12-month extension back in January, because obviously, and included this £25 million release cost, because obviously Tottenham, Toby Alderweireld has refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham. Don't get me wrong, I've got reservations about him now. He's age 30, he has lost that yard of pace, but I do believe he will still be a good upgrade in our defence with Alderweireld without a shadow of a doubt. But like I keep saying, I think we need two central defenders without a shadow of a doubt, because I said Smalling and Phil Jones are not good enough for Manchester United. Obviously, they've been two long-serving players here. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving them two new long-term contracts. So Smalling and Jones are not good enough for Manchester United. Comparing to Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling's much better, but I think that they shouldn't be here next season, but they are going to be here next season. We've got Eric Bay. Eric Bay, I like him. He's got great potential, but he's initially lost his players in the team. He burst into the scenes very well when he came into the Premier League, but based on his fallout under managers, based on his fallout under managers, the injuries he has sustained, I think it's had a really, really bad effect on Eric Bay's career. So to be quite fair, I think he should be going to make more room to get another central defender in there. We do know it's probably likely that Rojo and Darmian, will be going, and that's really, really good news, because an estimated guess, we can get around 25 or 30 million pounds for Matteo Darmian and Marcus Rojo. But another problem with Manchester United anyway, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. De Gea's in the final year of his deal, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving. Mata, he's coming to end of his contract, it's looking likely he's going to be leaving. Obviously Rashford's in the final year of his deal, of course. I think the club have been in negotiations to try and get Marcus Rashford a new contract. Obviously we haven't got him a new contract yet, so we have let far too many players' contracts run down. But like I said, talking about Romelu Lukaku and Paul Pogba, there's a possibility chance now, that them two could be remaining at the football club. Like I said, based on the huge transfer fees that we have basically put on them. It does basically say that it's been looking like that Lukaku is going to be leaving Manchester United. His move away from United has been looking very, very imminent, and it did say he was set to make the move to Inter Milan, and I think Lukaku is destined to make the move to Inter Milan. But I think his proposed move to Inter Milan could have hit a stumbling block now, based on the huge transfer fee, because now Reeds reports have said the quoted fee is around £80 million that we do currently want, and I think this is a figure that Inter Milan are reluctant to currently meet. But we do know Antonio Conte is Inter Milan's new manager, and he's identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. He has come out quite recently saying that Inter Milan have agreed the personal terms with Lukaku. It also said Inter Milan had agreed a 5-year deal with Romelu Lukaku, worth up to around £37.5 million, across 5 years, and I think around £7.5 million per year. I think with bonuses included, of course. And I think it did say Inter Milan are willing to meet his current wage demands, but obviously they haven't obviously come to an agreement on an initial fee, and obviously this is why it hasn't been fully finalised. I think from Inter Milan's perspective, they rate Lukaku at around £50 odd million pounds. So initially now we want around £80 million from him. So basically we're looking to recoup the majority. We're looking to recoup the majority of the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because initially we paid £75 million from Everton plus 15 million in add-ons. There were several add-ons included of 15 million, so initially it had risen the deal to £90 million. He has still got 3 years left on his contract term as Lukaku. I think on at Manchester United he's on about £250,000 a week, but I think Manchester United do actually want to sell him, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told Romelu Lukaku he's served his 2 requirements at Manchester United. It came out a couple of days ago saying Manchester United have told Romelu Lukaku that he can't leave the club. So whether he leaves now or stays or not, whether he stays or goes now, I do not know. It came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Inter Milan had held negotiations. It said Inter Milan, Lukaku, had been in Italy, and it did say he'd held negotiations with Inter Milan's representatives over a potential move. So don't know what's happening, with this at the moment, of course. But it did say Inter Milan, we're willing to offer, £30 million, plus Ivan Perisic as part of the deal. But obviously we don't want Ivan Perisic, of course. He's no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target. So we're not willing to go along with this. As I did say, if we're willing to let Lukaku go as any part of the swap deal, it did say, we was demanding Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar. Obviously, he's been a long-term target of Manchester United. He's just recently signed a new deal with Inter Milan. So he's under contract with Inter Milan until 2023, 24 years of age. Been at Inter Milan a couple of seasons now, I think. But yeah, so whether Inter Milan willing to go along with this or not, I do not know. If they're willing to, sacrifice Milan Skriniar, to get Lukaku on the board, whether Inter Milan are going to do this or not, I do not know. Cardi's been spoken about, but I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on Mario Icardi. But like I said, Lukaku needs to go, because if we sell him, it will help us with our transition, it will help us with our rebuilding process. He's just quite frankly not good enough for Manchester United, and obviously enjoyed a very, very difficult second season with the club, because we know mainly Rashford had been first choice ahead of him. Don't get me wrong, Lukaku's ratio is still very, very good in the Premier League. He has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League, and he's 26 years of age, so we still probably rate him at around £80 million from our perspective, and this is a figure, like I said, Inter Milan would not be willing to pay. But Lukaku, his first touch concerns me. He's a big game bottler as well. That also gives me bad reservations about him. Obviously, as well, his link-up play concerns me. He hasn't got that endless potential, so I think it's very beneficial if we do get rid of him. With Paul Pogba now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I said, he's doing everything to try and keep Paul Pogba at the football club, because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player he is, Paul Pogba, even though he hasn't really exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United as we all thought he would have done. So obviously, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed the Manchester United reserve team, he watched some of this team in this day and age go and develop, and of course, one of them was Paul Pogba. So quite frankly, they did build a great relationship up, but recent reports did say that Paul Pogba and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his relationship is slowly fading. Obviously, we do know that we paid £89 million to him, so obviously he's our most expensive signing. Obviously, his likely destination is Real Madrid. His preferred destination, of course, is Real Madrid, because obviously, Paul Pogba is on Real Madrid's agenda, and obviously we do know Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane's got a lot of targets on his agenda for this summer, because he wants to currently rebuild. But like I said, because players are expected to leave Real Madrid. Probably Gareth Bale's expected, to currently leave. Even though Gareth Bale doesn't want to leave Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid, do want to, get rid of him, of course, because obviously, Zinedine Zidane, basically, told Gareth Bale, he no longer has a future with the club, and obviously, there is no relationship now, between Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale. Obviously, Real Madrid are set to complete the signing of Eden Hazard next week. So, quite frankly, they'd actually, see Eden Hazard as the replacement for Gareth Bale, because obviously Eden Hazard, primarily plays off the left, even though you can put him in a false number 9 position, but he primarily plays on the left, because that's, the way you see the best of Eden Hazard. I think, a fee of around around £115 million has reportedly been agreed. So I think that's set to be announced next week. So they are focusing on getting the deal over the line for Hazard. Then they're going to turn their attentions more on Paul Pogba, of course, at Real Madrid. So like I said, based on the huge transfer fee on him, this could be the stumbling block of Paul Pogba making his move to Real Madrid. Initially we don't want to lose him, but I think it did say if we have no choice we want around 150 or 160 million pounds for him. But I think Real Madrid would be reluctant to pay this. It did say the other day that Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically done. It also said that Paul Pogba had currently agreed a massive pay cut for his salary to be reduced. It did say salary is set to be reduced from 13 million to 10 million a year. So that does mean I think he's set to have a 3 million a year. I think his wages are set to drop by around £3 million or something like that. But yeah, obviously Paul Pogba's still got 3 years left on his contract with the club. As I did say, it came out the other week saying Solskjaer was willing to offer him the captaincy, in a bid as well, to convince him to stay at Manchester United. But I still think there's a possibility that he will be leaving the club. But I think they are still negotiating a potential fee, of course. But like I said, if Pogba does leave the club, I think we could get potentially around 2 players, maybe 3 players. The money we do get for Paul Pogba, because I think we can still get around maybe 100, maybe 130, maybe 135 million pounds in him, of course. And maybe Paul Pogba wants to leave because he wants to be playing amongst better players. He isn't getting this at Manchester United. Maybe he wants to be challenging and winning trophies and all that, and being in Champions League football. And he's not getting this with Manchester United. So he definitely does want to leave it. Want to leave the club. He has blatantly made that clear. There has still been talk saying that his former club Juventus are interested. It did say Juventus were willing to offer 2 of their players to try and lure Paul Pogba away from Manchester United. But I still think it's looking imminent. If he does leave the club, he will go to Real Madrid, and he's still 26, and he's still got quite a lot of development in him because he's in his prime. So he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. Paul Pogba. But yeah, there's still it's a possibility anyway that Paul Pogba and Lukaku could remain at the club. Talking about Alexis Sanchez, I think he's going to be actually leaving the club. Obviously, we can't get rid of Sanchez permanently, based on his substantial wages. Obviously, he's on 400 grand a week. Potentially rise up to 500 grand a week. Based on image rights, on the bonuses and all that, of course. And like I said, his wages are having a really, really bad effect on the football club. Obviously, going back, I think it was actually now to a week ago. Sanchez's agent had been in Italy, because obviously it did say that Juventus and Inter Milan had expressed their interest in Alexis Sanchez, and had held negotiations with Sanchez's agent, as you all know. Looking at the time right there. They'd held negotiations, with Sanchez's agent and all that. And yeah, I think, Man United did say, we're willing to let him go on a long season loan, and we've agreed to pay him half of his wages off, of course, because we can't get rid of him permanently. We would love to get rid of him permanently, but obviously, we can't. He's been at Manchester United, 16 months, and he hasn't really been a fundamental player, as we all thought he would have been, because he did have 4 good years with Arsenal. Obviously, he played under Pep Guardiola when he was younger with Barcelona, and he did really, really well. Alexis Sanchez, but he obviously hasn't replicated that form at Manchester United, and I think he's become injury prone since he's come to Manchester United, because he has also sustained quite a few injuries. But initially, anyway, he hasn't been first choice Sanchez, because we know mainly Martial is first choice ahead of Sanchez on that left hand side. But we know Martial's performances have been so inconsistent in the last couple of months. But yeah, so I've heard some rumours saying should he go back to Arsenal? Sanchez, if you ask the majority of Arsenal fans that, they'd probably say no, because he didn't obviously remain loyal to Arsenal. Maybe a couple of Arsenal fans would take him back, because I think he would he would regain form if he was to make the return back to Arsenal, of course, because he's obviously fitted in their system better obviously than he does do at Manchester United, because he doesn't fit under our system. But like I said, he's on £500,000 a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses and all that. He's one of the problematic players. He doesn't have a future at the club anyway. He's 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace. So yeah, we've got to get rid of him. So like I said, I expect around probably 3 or 4 players to leave Manchester United this summer. We need a massive overhaul this summer, like I said, definitely without a shadow of a doubt. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. He's inheriting Van Gaal's players. There's Matt here from the David Moyes area. He's still inheriting 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson area. But no matter who our manager is, of course, I know it's Solskjaer at the moment, but we're never going to get someone in who's going to ever follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, because that was just unbelievable. What Ferguson Ferguson did. You know, he had 20 odd years of success with Manchester United, but it don't matter who we get. You know, no one's ever going to follow that legacy, and we're never ever going to achieve what we did, especially in terms of silverware. You know, what we did under Alex Ferguson. That's something we've got to accept, but we just want to get back to being a competitive elite level football club again. And I don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man to do that. Obviously, time will tell. You know, going on into next season. But if things are on next season, then I will be very, very critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I will want him out of Manchester United. Even though I do like him a lot, he was a great player for us for 11 years under Ferguson, but he hasn't really got the managerial experience. You know, let's be honest about that. But the good news is, you know, positive news about in terms of the transfers and all that. You know, it's looking imminent. Thomas Meunier is on his way to the club in a deal worth around £22 million, according to Sportsmail. Not some reports are saying that PSG want around £25 million. So yeah, I think he's coming to United. He's set to turn down Arsenal and come to Old Trafford. Looking very imminent that De Ligt's probably going to be coming. Bruno Fernandes, could be looking like he's going to be coming as well. It's obviously looking likely that Daniel James is coming. So that's a good start to the window, isn't it? You know, without a shadow of a doubt. Like I said, other transfer tags to give you an update on. Obviously, you know, Benfica's Joe Felix. It is Man United and Manchester City, of course, that are battling out for Joe Felix. Obviously, we're looking to get a centre defensive midfielder in as well. There has been quite a few centre defensive midfielders on our agenda. Like I said, Scott McTominay at the moment is too inexperienced. Even though he demonstrated himself and proved himself towards the back end of last season, but too inexperienced at the moment. Like I said, Matic too inconsistent. I've got reservations about him. He's too slow, and obviously, you know, Fellaini left back in January. So I do believe we need a holding midfielder. So there has been a few of them on our agenda. You know, Declan Rice has been spoken about before. Thomas Partey has been spoken about in the last week or so. Man United and Arsenal have inquired about his services. I think his release cost around £43 million in his deal with Atletico Madrid. Obviously, you know, Idrissa Gueye has been on Manchester United's agenda, you know, over quite some time. So, yeah, quite a few names that have been currently mentioned. But yeah, guys, and that's mainly everything to update with today. I've obviously given you the latest news about Adrian Rabiot from PSG as well. So yeah, so anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.